Hi all, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another crafting tutorial. And in this one today I'm going to show you all the preparation work needed to build stuff like this for my Mordheim project. Now I'm not going into detail in this video how I built all of these things. I am going to show you however how to prepare all the stuff, and later on in future videos, hopefully this month, I am going to show you in depth how to make houses, and the next video will be how I build my complete table. And as I mentioned before, it will be a 4-part video, so stick around for that. But enough of me yapping, follow me to the crafting table and let's do this! Come on! Okay, so I'll show how to prep all these things with both a Proxon and also if you don't own one. Now we'll need a ton of coffee stirrers, balsa wood beams, 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, a smaller size, one that is also 1.5 centimeter by 1.5 centimeter, texture rollers. I have cobblestone and 2 different flagstones, wooden dowels, foam board, both 2mm and 5mm thickness, round balsa beams, a steel wire brush, drywall mesh tape, basic craft material like cardstock, a ruler, a box cutter, hobby saw, if you have it, and glue and such. Alright, so a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's a big project, so. Alright, now pause the screen to copy the following measurements and templates. These are the basics I will use for all my buildings in future videos. Now each floor height is 7 centimeters. These are some windows and some doors. Excuse me. Now for prep work, I make some templates for the basic houses. Just pause the screen as I said for the measurements, which I showed. Now I'm going to use a plate also to create the curve in the roof templates. Doors, small windows, big windows, but feel free to use whatever you want, of course. Now these are some wall variations that I will be creating. Before crafting, it's best to draw out a rough sketch on how you want your board to look like. Now next, I cut out all my templates and glue them on some very thick cardstock or chipboard, whatever you have. Doesn't really matter, but you will need some templates, alright? It's just make things easier in the long run. Just use a glue stick, stick it down in the shape. This will give you an idea on how it will look like. And then start by cutting or slicing them out. Now here are all my templates to make most of the basic houses and also for other structures that I want to make. As you can see, smaller one, a bigger one. Now let's remove all the paper from the foam board. Very easy, leaving only the soft foam to work with. No glue or paper residue will remain. Now fill your tub with a container with very hot water. That is important. Now if you use your bath, be sure to clean it afterwards and very thoroughly. That is also very important because it will leave quite a mess. And then chuck in all your foam board and let it soak under water at least 5 minutes. Be careful because it is hot water, so don't burn your hands, alright? If you are in doubt, best use gloves. After 5 minutes, it just rolls right off, leaving only pure foam without residue. And it takes texture very well. You will need it. You will need to leave it to dry. And sorry for my nasal voice, I am pretty sick. Let this dry fully and be sure to all the paper is removed. Now cut the edges of coffee stirrers to create some more realistic looking weathered wood. You can also score in some wood grain, which I will do as well. Do this also for the balsa wood beams, guys. Now if you are using a Proxon, you don't need to do this, of course. You can use the Proxon and the steel wire brush on the foam. But as I said, I'm showing both, so this is before I had the Proxon, so I'm using all the coffee stirrers. Do that on all of them, on both sides, and better do more than you need. Now I'm going to take my door template, I'm going to draw it on this regular cardstock, and I'm going to make about 10 doors. 5 rounded, curved ones, and 5 rectangles. And cut them out. As I'm doing right here. Alright, now I'm taking my coffee stirrers. I'm gonna use this garden scissor to cut off a lot of them in half, and these will be glued to the cardstock. Doesn't matter if you have offcuts, if you have things sticking out of the cardstock, it really doesn't matter. Just do one side first, let it dry completely, and once that is done, just cut them off with the garden scissors and repeat it on the other side. And here I'm drawing in some 1/2 centimeter cardstock strips for the metal banding on the doors, and I will glue these on as well, as you see here. This is also good for D&D, not only for Mordheim. If you want to make some dungeon doors or stuff, yeah, same deal, works very well. Just use white glue or tacky glue. Hot glue is too big of a mess, so just use this. And as you can see, it's easy to cut these flush with these garden scissors. And they look really great. Very realistic with the wood. Of course, you have to do the banding on both sides, of course, guys. And do all of them. And here you go. I'm using some offcuts and tiny beads for the doorknobs. Then glue these on as well. This one's a little crooked, but the benefit of tacky glue, you can have a few minutes to work with it. Also putting down a bead of glue here, putting on a piece of cardstock like this, or a piece of wood, and then with the tweezers I'm putting on the doorknob like so, and you have a cool looking door. Now here's how I did the building templates with the Proxxon, but again, if you don't own one, simply trace your templates on foam board that you remove the paper off and cut them out with a sharp box cutter. Trace the templates on the foam board, and I'm going to use this on my Proxxon to cut out a lot of walls, because I have no idea how many buildings I'm gonna make. So now also remember, when using any hot wire cutter, be sure to use a respirator to not breathe in the fumes, as they are toxic. Now I'm gonna place my template directly against the wire and my guider like so. It is 12 centimeters in length, so you can also do that, and then go slow. Now the height is 7 centimeters, so I'm switching my guider to 7 centimeters. Go slow and cut out the walls like this, and I'm going for 1 centimeter because I want all my walls to be 1 centimeter thick. Now if you have foam board, they will be 1/2 centimeter, but that doesn't matter. So alright, now also remember, if you have small offcuts like 1/2 centimeter or 1 centimeter, you can keep them for wooden planks. So here are all the walls I did so far, and now I'm going to cut these beams out of XPS. They are 1.5 centimeter thick by 1.5 centimeter, but you can also use the balsa wood, and I'm going for long planks here. I had to make them a little thicker because my walls are 1 centimeter, so. And you see this tiny offcut, I'm keeping that as well for planks. And here you can see I quickly made a whole bunch of them in record time. Now I'm going over them with a steel wire brush, just like I will do also on the balsa wood beams. Now I'm gonna make some tiny little walls very quickly and very easily. And they are a little crooked, but it is Mordheim, so I don't really care. They are 1.5 centimeters high by 1 centimeter wide. Cutting off with the foam, with the Proxxon, making some quick walls, 1.5 centimeter by 1 centimeter. They don't need to be big walls, as I will use them to barricade or mark out some cobblestone roads. Now I'll quickly texture them with a texture roller. And do remember to do all sides except the bottom. Keep a good pressure on them and try to keep the roller straight, which is a little bit of an issue that I had, but again, I don't really care. But go nuts. Now do both sides, and also don't forget to do the top side as well, and the very side parts. And yeah, 5-second walls. And it looks really cool, you know. I'm really happy with this. Alright, and I'm gonna do all these walls because I will need a lot of them. Now these are 1 centimeter and 1.5 centimeter balsa beams, and I'm gonna drag my steel wire brush across them, then slice the edges. This I also do with the foam beams that I made, but I'm showing you how to do this if you don't have the Proxxon. I like both, you know, the XPS and the balsa. I think balsa is a bit sturdier though than the foam. However, it takes a little bit longer, so here I have where I cut off too much, but I don't really mind. Again, it is Mordheim, so. Now let's make our streets. And there are a couple of ways to do this. Now with all the paper and residue removed from the foam board, this can be textured really well, guys. I mean, I was surprised at this. The only issue is it's a long board, and I'm gonna have to try to keep my my texture roller really straight. Now do wear some protective gloves, because texturing all these sheets really damages your hands. And with this one, a good firm pressure and roll it back and forth a little bit, but go slow, all right? Now what I'm doing here, I will probably be doing directly onto the XPS foam when in the next video I will be building my board, all right? But yeah, try to keep it even next to each other, that the lines intermingle. I use a pen where my ruler went off course. And when it's painted though, it's hardly noticeable, guys. You can use a coffee stirrer to add some more indentation. Then when I'm done, I'm texturing it again with a tinfoil ball and prime it black, but it's important to use a watered down black paint, almost like a wash. Because otherwise it could be that you, you remove the textures, alright? So use a watered down one. And here you can see how well the texture roller did its job. And like this, we have a huge sheet that can be used as a cobblestone floor. Now, one more thing I did was make 7 cm high brick walls. Simply carve a brick pattern into the foam board. This will be mainly cladding in my case for the elevations and the canal walls, but you can definitely use them for the bottom part of the houses as well. Okay, I'll show you what I have so far. So let's check this out. Now this is what I mean, 7 cm high. I drew in a brick pattern, then texture it with a tinfoil ball, pressed in a couple of stones, and this really looks very cool. I mean, if I had the time, I would do everything like this, but to make a huge 4x4 board, yeah, I don't have the time for that. Now, if you don't have a texture roller, as I said, go nuts. If it's no time issue, take your time, go like this. I mean, the stones really look cool. If you're gonna use them for the walls of the houses, do both sides. As you can see here, I did the same thing, but it's larger, so that will be for my canal walls. But yeah, it looks really awesome this way. But it is a lot of work, and you can also glue this onto the XPS walls that I've cut on the Proxxon. So, but yeah, it's a little double extra work. Now I'm going to use my brick roller. I also ordered another one for small bricks, which I will use for texturing these things that I'm holding right now for my houses, the bottom of the buildings, because I'm not going to draw in or glue in individual bricks. I know some people love to do that, and I really love the result, but I just don't have the patience or the time for that. So I'm going with a quicker way. Now, this is what I've built with everything I've showed you in this video. So I will show you in detail in video 3 how I built houses like this. This is all made before I had the Proxxon. So as you can see, I've used the coffee stirrers for the floor. Yeah, the balsa wood beams to build the structure. This is the foam board, which I simply roll the texture roller onto. Some wooden planks, some cardstock for shingles. I also glued this onto a cardstock base. Here I made, with all the offcuts I have, I quickly tossed in and made a small little ruin. And again, this doesn't have to be for Mordheim. You can use it for D&D or for whatever you like. A corner building. It's actually a piece that I really love. I mean, as you can see, I also glued in the doors. Don't have to do that, of course. Add in some rounded dowels for some support of the floor. And here is a wood elf model that I'm going to show you for the scale. So as you can see, it looks really cool. It has some benefit of cover. The door, nice scale for these these miniatures. Here is the broken roof. As you can see, it has the benefit of cover, but it's still pretty good to reach all the parts of these houses. So that's also an important thing when building the city. Now, thanks for watching, and be sure to watch video 2. In that one, I will build the board and the elevations and the roads and the streets of Mordheim. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.